Hey, what's up you guys? After Show Reacts here, and today I'm going to be reacting to some more Charmed. This is Season 3, Episode 12, titled Spectral Healing. So I'm trying to do this new thing by, reading, your comments from the previous episode and, kind of talking about the previous episode, as I suck at remembering things, and sometimes, I have other things to say. Right. So, first of all, I'd like to go over, a question that I've been asked, I think twice now. Why am I still reacting to this show if I seem like I don't like it? Well, I started this show out of nostalgia for the original show because I grew up on Charmed. It was my favorite TV show growing up, and, I feel like I've made that really abundantly clear. And I was just curious what they were going to do with the show. I never expected it to be any good. And I feel like the first season has been the best season, despite the fact that the first season wasn't very good either. I feel like the first season was very, it ripped off a lot of ideas from the original, and it just didn't really have any heart into it. Then the show changed showrunners, and it's just been dilly-dallying since then. And I say this with as much respect to the actresses as I can, but they just keep going around in circles with these ideas. For example, the show will come up with a really interesting idea, For example, the dark lighter, white lighter situation. Them being two halves of each other, I thought that was a fantastic idea. Right? And then they kind of just never really went anywhere with it, They brought in another white lighter that also had another half of her, and then they killed her off in 2 episodes or something, And then they had this Abigail and, Harry Macy love triangle thing that never really felt right. I never really felt like Harry would be interested in Abigail, and I didn't understand why Abigail was interested in Harry. They never really explored that very well, and then they kind of just dropped that as well. The storyline, there's so many storylines that they just start and they stop. The storyline of, this creature that they were creating last season that came across to me as, an Adam situation on Buffy, floppy disk dude. But, then they got rid of that in an episode, and they never really seemed to have any issue, actually dealing with things. It really bothers me that they just sweep things under the rug like nothing ever happened. They were dead, and then now they're not. They do, like I said, they come up with some interesting concepts, like the idea of the Tomb of Chaos, despite the fact that it sounds exactly like Malivore to me. It was interesting. They had a whole episode dedicated to them going into the tomb, and then they got out by the end of it. It was just so bizarre. Imagine if you'd gone into the tomb and, that was your first half of the season, I feel like they use the same sets a lot of the time. It is very frustrating to me. They introduce a new character in Josefina, who, to be honest, in my opinion, I didn't really like. I have issues with the character, which I'll get into in just a moment. But they've done it again they've introduced a character, created a story arc for said character, wrapped it up in 2 episodes, and now she's leaving. This happens so often with the dad, the dad came in for 2 episodes, they had a character arc, and then they wrapped it up, It's it's like you've got these interesting stories, interesting characters, and then you just move on every time. Just give me a moment, sorry. And this show just seems to do it so often that it's so bizarre to me. And the reason that I am still watching is because do I think this is a good show? No. Does it have good ideas, like I've said? Yes. Do they mess up their good ideas all the time? Yes. I don't know what the writers are thinking. Like, they're like, here, let's introduce this new thing, let's just sweep it under the rug. Anyways, I feel like I'm going around in circles. What? The answer to it, really, is just, I want to see how it ends. I'm a completionist. There's only one show to this date that I've actually given up on, and that was Krypton, and because that was really boring. Like, the last episode of Krypton I watched ended in, like, a huge explosion, and that didn't even captivate me enough to watch the next episode. So I just want to know how it ends. It's almost like a train wreck situation where you can't look away. And I'm going to keep reacting to it because I want the show to be better. And I want to point out the things that I like and I don't like. So it's just what's going to keep happening. And that if that's not for you, that's okay. If I'm literally only making these for myself, then that's okay too. But I just wanted to talk about that before going into the episode. Another thing I wanted to talk about as well was my comments regarding Josefina. I thought she was kind of annoying. When I said last episode that I thought that she should earn her ability, like her powers, I didn't mean that in, like, any negative way. What I meant was the writers clearly set her up as a character with an arc, right? An arc where you would go from, you know, once... Do you know what I'm assuming you know what a character arc is, okay? Like, you go from part B to you go from A to B, okay? But, like, she got there so quickly that it didn't feel earned, and a lot of the time this happens on the show. Like, nothing ever feels earned. Like, I do believe, like, the girls, you know, they've been earning their way to get rid of this allergy, right? And I use the word earning loosely because, you know, they've not, it's about them not being able to touch for such a long time, and then when they're able to touch, it's a great moment because you're like, yay, they're finally together again. You know, they went through all this hardship and now they can be together again. And you feel that relief, you know, and like with Josefina, I feel like you never really got that relief because her character, like, she didn't have a character arc. Like, they just rushed through it really fast. And, like, imagine how impactful and powerful it would have been if they had taken the time to work on her character and finally, you know, give her or have her unlock her power. The fact is, she talked nothing, she talked about nothing but her, like, getting her powers. She didn't care about anything that the girls were doing. She was off in her own side plot. She got her powers from a book at a library. Like, what? The girls weren't even helping her either. And it just felt so shoehorned in and really fast. And I just didn't like it. It has nothing to do with the fact that she's transgender. If this would have happened to Mel or to Maggie or to Macy, I would be just as annoyed because there's no value in, like, there's no value in things being really easy. You know? Like, there's no... I'm really bad at explaining stuff. We're like 9 minutes into this reaction. I apologize. I just really want to talk about these things before we go into things. You understand what I'm trying to say? Like, for example, like, Josefina let the Perfecti out. Like, she didn't really know them. They could have been really villainous. They probably are really villainous. But, like, she thought it was her way to get magic. And she completely disregarded everyone else. And that is really selfish. And I'm supposed to be rooting for this person to get her abilities, her powers. I keep calling them abilities for some reason. I just... There was nothing really selfless about her character that made me believe that she deserved her powers being unlocked, you know? They could have done something long-term with her and they just haven't. The only character, well, actually the only two characters that they've actually kept around long-term is Jordan and Abigail. And don't even get me started on Abigail. I feel like the show wants you to feel bad for Abigail, but like, she's done so many horrible things that she's never even apologized for, and so how can you feel bad for someone like that? Like, the show wants to give you, like, wants to really lay it on thick by giving you, like, a backstory. Well, not a backstory. I don't know. Are we gonna get a backstory for her? We don't actually even know. We've never even been given a backstory for Abigail. We've just been told things. That's another thing that's really frustrating. Being told and not shown. I'm sorry, I just wanted to go... I've gone on a bit of a rant here. This is really bad. This show just drives me a little bit nuts, and I haven't had a chance to really go into it. Yeah, we just get told things about Abigail, like her mum not liking her, and like, I don't know, her dad... I don't even know. I don't pay attention to Abigail, to be honest. But, like, no. The thing is, they expect you to feel bad for her when she's never done anything remotely, like, good or meaningful or, like, redeemable. And the show wants to try really, really hard to make her, like, a Crowley character. And, like, even Crowley did some, like, well... Actually, Crowley was completely different because he was, like, actually a demon, didn't have a soul, so, like, you just, they need to do something to make her more redeemable. If they really, really want to go down this storyline with her, they need to show us why she's worth redeeming. That she needs to, you know, apologize. Like, she's stuck in the tomb of chaos, so who fucking knows. They need to, like, show us a reason why she deserves to be redeemed. And show her redeeming herself. Like, you can't just say, I'm redeemed. Like, I'm redeemable. You have, like, it's not even about that. It's hard and it's every day. And you just gotta keep doing it. You're never going to be redeemed for the things that you've done in your past. Because she killed witches. Like, there are consequences to your actions. Anyways, I've talked 14 minutes and I haven't even started the episode. I just wanted to talk about some of the comments and explain my thoughts a little bit better. You know, if you have any thoughts about it, let me know. Let's get into the episode. Alrighty, well that was Charmed Season 3, Episode 12, titled Spectral Healing. I liked what they did with the ghosts. I don't really understand what they were doing with Harry and his, like, Harry and Mel's storyline. What was the candy stuff for? Man, this show's weird. And they, like, put so much emphasis on Macy and Harry's relationship, and then, like, barely anything on Mel and Ruby's. And then they're like, hey, here's this big declaration of love that doesn't feel earned because we barely see them together. I don't appreciate being given LGBTQ, like crumbs, is what I'm saying. Give me something real. I don't have much to say. I think I'll just leave it there. Let me know what you guys thought, and I will see you in the next one.